Yeah, I'm ready, baby.
What's going on? It's Q&A Mondays, Lethal Collective, 50% of the Lethal Collective. Got my man Fate Decided with me. Ready to rock, craving something scary, and Killjoy Jake will be back with us on Friday. But yeah, we're here, This is what we do.
That's what we do. We are the fate of night today. Like I said off camera. Fate of night.
Fate of night. It almost has a good ring to it. It's pretty good.
It does, I'm telling you. There you go.
And hey to everyone in the chat. We see you guys. Just to say hi real quick, Jojo and Jen, the general is doing general things. I just made that up. What's up, Conrad? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Denisha's in the chat. What's up, Denisha? All right. Jesse's in the chat. What's up, Jesse? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Katie's in the chat. And we got my man Blucka's in the chat. Baya! He loves that one. That's a good one. What's up, Carrie? Carrie's in the chat. All right. Let's see. Jen, what's going on, Jen? How you doing? Nice to see you. All right. Denisha, you know what's up. There we go. Hey. All right. Putting everyone in there. Very, very cool. Let's see. Yes, and as Jen said, please like, share, and subscribe. Lighting Ghost is in the chat. All right. Jennifer as well.
725.
Wow.
We need to get that up. Let's get it up. Get it up.
We do. We need to. Jennifer saying first day of unemployment. So of course I'm watching The Collective. Oh man. All right. Yeah, that's right.
Hopefully you bounce back soon.
I know, right? I know what that's like. Katie saying, Val, the movie was something last night. Yes, if you Katie, if you're talking about Frankenhooker, yes, it was a fun time last night. Oh my god, it was hilarious. Oh man, if you could have seen, because I saw the movie, I knew of the movie. I hadn't seen it in a while, but Steven and Katie hadn't seen it. If you could have seen some of the reactions, man, it was hilarious. Oh my god, it was great. Val saying, yes, of course, yes. Rest in peace to Paul Sorvino. Also, David Warner. I heard about David Warner, who originally was going to play Freddy Krueger, and obviously famous from The Omen and other movies. But yeah, that's crazy, man. What's up, Angie?
What's up, Angie?
And Memo Boy. All right. Hey, well, look at that. We got Rocky. Rocky. Staying home with COVID. Cool. Looking forward to this stream. We hope you feel better. Seriously.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Jen saying, love the intro.
Night put it together.
Yeah,
That's what he does.
It's what I do. What's up, Jason?
Hey, Jason.
All right. So yes, and hello to everyone else. And like I said, we'll have Craven with us on Friday, and also Jake as well. So let's get into this stuff. Jennifer saying, night and Fate, my next job doesn't start till late August. I'm a preschool teacher.
Awesome.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, so you got some time off. Very, very cool.
Awesome.
A lot of respect.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
A lot of patience.
Isn't that the truth? I know.
you need a lot
Jason,
of patience.
You need more than patience. Jason saying that he's loving as it stands. Incredible sports talk. Can't wait until NFL talk, right?
Cannot wait either. Believe me, it's coming.
Yeah. Very cool. Thanks, Katie. I appreciate that. That's and Carrie knows what's up. That's right. Tonight, SMC at 8:00. Please check it out. It'll be fun and so forth. And plus, I'll have an announcement I'll throw up at some point if I remember, and so forth and so forth. But if you guys have any questions, you guys know how we do this. Leave us your questions, and we are going to try to answer as many as we can. We may not get to them all, but we definitely will try. So, Fate, what's up, man? I mean, we got a lot of things kind of circling around, especially in the YouTube world with our buddy Corey Cunningham. And
it is madness.
It is, man. I've actually, and whether it was a good thing or not, I actually kind of pulled back a little bit because I reacted, I talked about it on live streams and this and that, and I've really been trying to let things kind of
Come.
absorb, But what are you thinking, man? Because I know all of us in the collective have our thoughts, concerns, hopes, and fears, and so forth of what this story is going to be for Halloween Ends.
I mean, I still think it's gonna go the imposter route one way or another. Um,
Hmm.
One thing, so I made a video on is Dr. Mathis. So we have
Hmm.
him confirmed, the actor. What is his name?
Um,
Michael O'Donnell. Is that his name, or Michael
I,
O'Donnell?
something,
Something
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So we know he's playing Dr. Mathis. Dr. Mathis was kind of in passing on in Halloween Kills, but we know he's a character.
Hmm.
Even what was it? What was the? She was the one dressed up as the nurse.
Yeah, the
The,
nurse,
yeah,
the couple.
she mentioned him, like, oh, something about punching him or something like that.
Hmm.
And if you look at him, if you look at the actor and you look at like his size and stature, kind of looks like he could be like, what if Corey is the fall guy? Was the whole thing like,
Hmm.
what if Corey is the guy that is set up, but it's not, it's actually Dr. Mathis? Because I mean, we also see Corey being choked out, or it looks like he's being choked out by Michael Myers in the
Right.
trailer. And
Hmm.
so if that is the case, and we all just assume like, oh, that's Michael showing up to show like there's only one Michael, and what if it's not? Like, what if he's being choked out by Mathis, or what if they're in cahoots together? And you
Right.
kind of have like
Right.
this whodunit mystery where it's like, um, I think that there's a lot of ways that they could go about this.
Hmm.
I just think it's gonna be what we think. I think it's gonna be, there's gonna be the imposter. It's gonna show up. And something else I even talked about was like Michael being like the hero, the redemption arc.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like in an anti-hero style way, where it's like, because I mean, if you look at the story that they've established with Michael, like all, if not most of his kills at the very least, have all been very, like, they're all methodical, like there's all a purpose. Like, we saw opportunities
Right.
throughout the movies where he could have just killed the killed, but he didn't. Like,
Right.
even from day one, he killed
Hmm.
the documentary team because he wanted his mask. He killed the
Right.
guy because he needs the car. He kills the guy with the hammer because he's trying to get by.
Right.
He goes, he's like, oh, I need a knife. Goes into this house, pummels this
Kills
woman,
the couple.
gets
Right.
gets the knife. Oh, I got the knife. I need to test the knife. Walks
Yeah.
over to uses the knife. Like, every kill he had served a purpose, and he wanted to just get home.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's the monster in the degree that he has been in the past. I mean, obviously he's
Hmm.
killing people, so he's still a monster.
Right.
But I don't think
Hmm.
he's this just monster off a leash
Hmm.
running through the town of Haddonsfield, just killing people aimlessly. I just think that, like the mob thing, he had no choice. You surrounded him. Like, what is he
That's
going to do?
right.
He's going to kill all these people. He's going to pummel you all. And I just think everything. And then even with Karen, she's in his house. I want to be
Yep.
like, I want to be, home, like, get out of my house. Boom, you're dead. Like, killed the Big John, Big John, Little John, kills
That's right.
them because,
Because they're
they're in his
in his
house.
house.
Like,
Exactly.
everything was like very, like, all the kills were very, like, at least he has, he knows what he's doing, is basically what I'm saying. Like, there's a purpose
Right.
to it, for
Hmm.
lack of a better word. And I just think that you have that set up. Michael's gone, whatever. He's just minding his own business,
Hmm.
living his best life or whatever. Not just that, but if he really is being held by, the, like, some hermit or whatever, then that shows that he understands, like, this person, like, he doesn't want to hurt me. He understands the benefits of, like, I don't want to kill this guy. He's feeding me.
Right.
He's, whatever,
Yeah.
assuming that that's true or not. And so you have this setup. He's just living his best life. All these killings are happening, all that stuff. Somehow Michael hears about it or whatever, or maybe the hermit guy is in the town and he's like, hey, like, there's this guy running around as you killing people. You need to defend your honor. And now Big Bag Michael shows up, and it's kind of like this, like, bigger, the bigger evil.
Evil
Like, yeah,
versus evil.
Yeah, like Michael's
Yeah.
evil, but
Right.
he's a certain type of. He's not just pure evil, which kind of goes against everything, right? Because Mr. Loomis, the darkest eyes, all that stuff. But
Right.
that's
But do you think they'd really get that complex with that? I
I.
think
But
that would well, I mean, because obviously the hermit thing, and everyone that has watched these movies, obviously that's from five,
yeah,
and we know they're taking homages from, from the series and so forth. Yeah, I mean, hey, it could work. One thing I was thinking that was similar to that too is this whole thing with whoever's obsessed with Michael, whether it's Mathis or Corey or whoever, definitely puts them in a very evil light. Here's the reason, because they're going to be choosing to be
yeah,
evil. Michael, from what we know, if we just assume that 78 is Bible, right? Michael, it happened. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, hey, I want to be evil tonight and kill Judith. I mean, if we just go by 78. So obviously he's evil. But if you've got Corey or Mathis or whoever who's choosing to do that, to go down that road and be either dressed up as Michael or kill as Michael, whatever, you could almost argue that that's even more evil. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Because they have the ability to choose between, right and wrong and so forth. Not saying that Michael doesn't, but you get what I'm saying. So that could work. Although, man, I'm telling you, and I've been, and you know this because we've all talked about this a lot. I've been back and forth on this thing so much because there's a part of me thinking that they could go down that road or similar to what you're talking about. But then I keep thinking to myself, it makes it so complicated in a sense as far as what you're trying to do with Michael. And from the beginning, I kept thinking everything's going to be more simplified in this movie as far as let's go back to the 78 vibes. We know it's going to be a more contained movie, more intimate. You're not going to have all of Haddonfield, fighting Michael like in Kills and so forth. So I I don't know, man. I mean, put it this way. I guess I should ask you this. What is the likelihood, if you were to give it a percentage, that they might go down that road with the hermit and Michael kind of um, reclaiming his turf against this imposter and all that type of stuff? What do you think the chance of that is?
I think it's very high. I think it's like,
Really?
yeah, I think that that's gonna be. I mean, everything from even like what we saw in the trailer, it looks like
Yeah.
that's gonna be the. I mean, obviously we didn't see the hermit and all that stuff,
Right.
but
Hmm.
Michael's got to be somewhere, right? So it's
Yeah.
like, where is he? Like, is he just living in the woods, or and the hermit thing also kind of makes sense because of like what we've talked about here in the past, where it's like, is Lori in the town and everything? Are they just going to let him disappear? Like, if they know where he is, don't you think they would try to kill him? Like, if he's just chilling
Right.
in his house, don't you think they'd light the house on fire or like, blow it up or do something? If Michael's in this radio tower and they find out, wouldn't they go and like, try to kill him and trap him in that radio tower? The whole
Hmm.
Freddy Krueger thing, like track him
Yeah.
down, keep him contained, and then boom, just like try to kill him, try to get rid of him. Like, but if he's literally in hiding underground, in
Hmm.
five esque style, then that makes a lot of sense. So I do think the hermit thing goes. No matter what, if they do this imposter route, it's gonna be
Hmm.
convoluted. It is gonna be, it's gonna be
Yeah.
complicated to an extent. So that's why,
Right.
like, I just think like I don't think they're going to go the route of like we're gonna turn. I mean, they already did light his house on fire, but that doesn't mean they can't do it again. I mean, how many times have we seen
Yeah.
Michael get arrested and then caught? The only difference
Right.
is that this time the fire department isn't going to come and save him. Like that's
Right.
what happened last time. Otherwise, he probably
Hmm.
would have burnt to the ground with the house. But this
Right.
time everyone would know we got him again. Don't let that burn. Let him burn.
Let it burn.
Yeah.
It's funny too. I'm gonna say this. When that happened, it's so funny because I started thinking to myself, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
Just the irony of it all, man. Just like, jeez.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I just think
Yeah.
like I really think what's gonna happen. Like I said, I could be completely wrong. I'm just guessing here, but
Hmm.
I really think that it's gonna go along the lines of like we're gonna pick up however long later, maybe it is the 4 year gap or whatever. We're gonna pick up years later. We're gonna have everybody's gonna be living their best life. Michael's wherever he's at. We get like a quick cut to Michael, like living with this hermit or whatever under the
Just
house.
chilling,
Yeah, just chilling. Maybe it's at the radio tower, and he's living like in the basement or something. I
having
could,
tea and biscuits every
yeah,
afternoon.
just living his best life, having some steak, just like, hey man, this is cool, like I could see that happening, and then you're gonna get like the imposter Michael, whether it's Mathis or it's Corey or it's both. I do think it's Corey just because the Cunningham ties, everything that
Yeah,
was said. Like, is this to
yeah.
Christine? I think
Hmm.
that that's very likely going to be the case. You're going to see that route, and then Michael at some point is going to show up. He's gonna he's gonna get his redemption time, and like I could even see something because the thing is too is like they've clearly established that Michael does not care about Lori. That Michael does
Right.
not want to
Yeah.
kill Lori. She doesn't
Yep.
care about any of that stuff. So I
Right.
could see a moment where Lori is about to die. And this goes into what Jamie said about like we were literally in tears with the thing. It was this full circle thing. Like I
Hmm.
could see a moment where Lori is about to be killed by the imposter Michael. Right before the finishing blow to kill Lori, boom, Michael comes, stops him,
Hmm.
kills this guy. Lori's standing there like, holy shit, and then
Hmm.
Michael just kind of turns and looks at her and then just leaves
Mm.
because he
Hmm.
doesn't care and he has no
Right.
reason to kill her. Like
Yeah.
all his kills were for a purpose. Like I could see Michael being the hero, and you have this full circle moment where you think Lori's gonna die, and then she ends up surviving, and then it's just Michael and Lori for this showdown. And if Lori really is past it, Lori's really over that. Like I was this obsessed person. It would make sense. She's not going to attack. Like she's standing there like I'm too. Maybe she gets stabbed. She's like bleeding out or something. She's like I'm in no position to fight this guy. Like
Hmm.
I'm screwed. We as an
Hmm.
audience are like, oh my god, like here it comes. Like here's the moment, and Michael
Right.
just leaves. He's just like
Right. Right.
I have no reason to kill you. I don't need to kill you. Like
Right.
bad man dead, bad man gone. Let me go
Could
this way.
be.
And
Yeah.
I really think that that's how this is gonna play out, and we're all just gonna be like, all right. And I really
It
think that
could
that's
be.
very likely how it's going to end. Lori's going to survive. Her and Allison will have a happily ever after. Michael's going to be
Mhm.
doing Michael things that kind of leaves the door open to like whatever they want to do. And
Yeah.
it's just
That's one way I kind of looked at it too, because I think at the end of this movie, because everyone, will be asked, they're asking, who's gonna live, who's gonna die, is Michael gonna finally die, and this and that. I honestly think he's not gonna die at the end of this movie, and it'll be, either similar to what you said, like that, or either everyone or most of everyone else is gonna die, whether it's
yeah,
by his hand or otherwise. And I think that would be very upsetting to people, because when they say Halloween ends, even when we heard about the titles long, long, long ago, a lot of people were thinking, okay, well, that means it's over for Michael. Right from the beginning, I was thinking, I don't know about that. I mean, quite a few videos on it. It could allude to the fact that, it ends for Laurie. It could allude to the fact that it ends for Haddonfield, in the sense that Michael leaves Haddonfield at the end
yeah.
of the movie. He's not only held to doing this in Haddonfield, so there's a lot of different ways, but I won't get into all that because I've done some stuff. But real quick too in the chat, just to catch up, and then we do have a couple questions. Extron's in the chat. What's up, Extron?
What's up?
Saying where's Craven and Jake? And I talked about this earlier, but both of them are not here tonight, but they will be back on Friday. And obviously Jake's working on his movie, and Craven's taking the night off. And just to say, is this is probably something that we talked a little bit about this before we started Fate. You guys, we seriously, and I know a lot of people watch, all of our different stuff. We appreciate the support so much, but I think we literally, between the four of us, we either stream or have videos that come out every day of the week.
Yeah.
I almost could guarantee that, which is crazy. You know what I mean? I
I don't
mean,
think I've missed a video in like a year.
it's
like,
it's
I literally post
crazy.
every day. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and so, the fact that, because we were talking about just the amazement of doing this channel, and the four of us coming together and putting the time aside from our individual channels to do this twice a week, and collaborate, the four of us. It's almost a miracle, because it's like, and I mean, obviously yourself being a huge example in the four of us, just so much content that we put out. Obviously, with Craven, myself, the live streaming that we do, I mean, hours worth of live streaming every single
Especially
week.
Craven.
It's crazy. He'll do 8-hour live streams and stuff like that. And, so it's like, I'll be honest, and I didn't even say this to you before we went live. I'll be honest. I'm actually surprised we've been able to keep this type of pace up for the collective channel as well as our individual channels, because it is definitely, but I mean, obviously we're doing that because we have fun. And we also want, these channels to do well, and you have to fight that uphill battle with
Yeah.
YouTube and the algorithm. It's crazy. What do you think of that?
No, I agree with you 100%. Like, I mean, like I've said, Craven, that dude does 4 to 8 hour live streams like daily almost.
It's
And
crazy.
yeah, I mean, you got to respect it,
Yeah.
But I mean, in the same breath, like we've all talked about before, is that like, the coming to expect it. It's like
Yeah.
when you establish that, you got to maintain it, which becomes even harder, like,
Right.
and not even just from like an audience standpoint, because obviously your audience expects it, but even from YouTube, like YouTube's very about like consistency and
Exactly.
time and stuff like
Yep.
that. So like, if you just take a week off, you're essentially starting all over,
Yep.
and it's tough. I mean, unless you just have like such a large following, it doesn't matter. If you're somebody
Yeah.
that has 3 million subscribers, then you could take a year off. We've seen YouTubers go away for years and come back and immediately pick up right where they left off, because when you have that many people, it makes things easier. But somebody like us, we're a very small fish in a giant ocean, and it's like,
Absolutely.
we have to maintain it, and it's tough. Like I said, I don't even know when the last
Yeah.
time I missed a day. Like I've posted like late videos at like 10, but it was still the same
Yeah.
day. I'm like, it's still the same day. Like,
Yeah.
and I try to post every day, and it's just it gets hard, and you
Yeah,
got life,
it
and you
is.
got work, and you got
Family,
Yeah, you got
yourself.
yeah, you have a day where you're like sick, but that's also why I try to, like, most of my videos I do, like, I usually do the night before, so they schedule them during the day.
Right.
But then, like, some news breaks and it's like, oh man, I got to make another video for that.
That's
Like, because I got to talk about it and then do that. But usually for the most part, I can get away with that. And the reason I usually post the night before is just to, like, I think, like, what if I wake up tomorrow and I'm like, oh, like sick, or I'm just tired
Exactly.
and burnt out, like,
Yeah.
at least I don't have to, I could put it off till the end of the night type thing. But yeah. Anyway,
Yep.
yeah.
It's
tough.
tricky, man. I mean, it's and we'll catch you later, Carrie. Thanks for hanging out.
See you later, Carrie.
And also, Jennifer, thank you so much. Thank you guys for
Thank
all
you.
that you do.
Thank you.
We appreciate that. That's very kind of you. But yeah, it's tough, man, because you really do have to have that consistency for YouTube to work for you. And like I said, it's such a fun thing too. And this community is fun, and we love connecting with everyone. And you almost do get into this cycle, and sometimes you do have to remember to pull back at times, to take a break at times, whatever that may mean, whether it means a night off, or shorten the length of your stream, or shorten the length of the video, or pare down the amount of time it takes for you to put things together. It is important, man, because it's easy to get burnt out. I actually have a friend of mine, and maybe it's a blessing and a curse, but he's recently decided to kind of shut down his channel. And he was a very cool dude. I loved his channel, I loved his content, but he was working his ass off, and he just decided one day that it wasn't balancing out with his life and so forth. And I'm gonna be honest, man, I looked at him, and we kind of started, well, we didn't really start around the same time, but we were very close. And it kind of was like, wow, I got to start watching out for myself, because like I said, he just got burnt out. And I was like, well,
It's
dude,
work. At the end of the day, it's work. Like,
it
like,
is.
it's what we're doing. I mean, and and the problem is you're working your tail off for nothing. And I mean, even when you get monetized, like, yeah, it's great, it's exciting for a moment, and then you get that first check, and it's like, yeah, I guess I'm making $100 this month rather than nothing. But still, I mean, it's like, what we were talking about it off camera, like at some point you gotta monetize. You gotta do what's best for, like, is this a hobby, or is this do you want this to be a career? At some point you got to distinguish the two. And if you're just not getting the growth, you're not having the success, like, at some point it's like, okay, enough is like, unfortunately it sucks. You're just like, man, And I mean, even for me, transparency, because I'm a very transparent person. It's like with
Yeah.
the sports channel blowing up. I mean, I'm making more in like 3 days on the sports channel than I do on Fate Decided. Even with like people's generosity with super chats and stuff. Like it's just
Hmm.
so it's like, what do I do? Like, like what do I want? Like, do I want
Right.
to do this for a living, or do I want this to just be a hobby forever? So it's like you got to
Right.
pivot. You got to, so like I have to make that a priority. I'm
Hmm.
literally making a solid living off of that channel, and I'm new. It happened in the last month, and this month
Right.
is more money than I see in an entire year on Fate Decided. Like,
Hmm.
it's crazy. Like, and so it's just, and it's the same dilemma a lot of YouTubers have. It's like,
Yeah, they
you know
do.
until you find that success, and but I mean, the beauty with that is now Fate Decided, I don't have to be in this box,
Yeah.
where it's like I can make a video about whatever I want, but it's only going to get like 300 views if I'm
Hmm.
lucky. Or I can make a Scream or Halloween video and it'll get 2 or 3 thousand views. Now I don't have
Right.
that need to. Now Fate Decided can just be my hobby if I want.
Right.
And I could just whatever is left is left. But it's just
Yep.
but not everyone has that luxury. Not
Right.
everyone has a channel that just took off and is making some solid money, and it's like, wow, like I can actually make a living doing this.
Hmm.
Most people, they have to continue to do that grind, and it's
Right.
just it's tough, it's exhausting.
It can be. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it
But
can be. And and fortunately, like you said, if the particular content creator, if they're not having fun or getting, something positive out of it, it is going to be just a bear on their shoulders. So,
yeah,
I mean, I will say, I'm just so happy that it's a fun thing to do. It's a fun thing to hang out with you guys. It's a fun thing to, get geeky about movies and stuff like that, because that's the shield, right? That's the thing that kind of, keeps you sane. So very, very cool, man. And we have a couple questions too. We'll
let's
get
get
to
it.
these. Let's see. Memo Boy was saying, did you, Knight, and Fate hear about Lindsay and N? Saw Beyond the Mask made a video about her. Um,
I
the only
haven't
thing that
seen.
I haven't seen that video, although Beyond the Mask is cool.
Yeah,
But the only thing that I know of is that we're not going to get a lot of Lindsay and
yeah.
N's.
That's
That's
the
the
only
only
thing
thing
I've
that I know.
heard too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only thing I've
Yep.
heard too.
Yeah.
I'll have to check out the Beyond the Mask video, but yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Just
Yep.
yeah, that she's. I mean, but to be fair, she wasn't supposed to be in the movie at all. So
Exactly.
even if
She
she gets
was.
one, even if it's just one scene, at least it's more than what it
Mhm.
was. So
And it makes sense too, because I think at the end of the day, even though she's an OG character, and of course, obviously, you have the OG actress, that which is really cool. I mean, at the end of the day, she's really on the peripheral. She's
yeah,
not even secondary, as far as characters. But yeah, it won't be that much that we will see of her. Let's see. Cody's in the chat. What's up, Cody? Saying Corey versus Michael, or Laurie versus Michael, or Corey and Michael versus Laurie, or Corey versus Michael versus Laurie. Thoughts? Let me absorb that. Um,
if you're asking what do we think will end up being the outcome, I think what'll end up happening, like I said, I think it'll go like how I was mentioning earlier, where it'll be Corey. Let's just say Corey is the imposter Michael. He
mhm.
has a moment with Lori. Looks like he's gonna kill Lori, and then which also would go into the obsession and everything. Like
Right.
you
Yeah.
have that obsession, like I want to kill the final girl and be that
That's
one.
right.
Like Michael failed every time, and here I am. I think
Hmm.
what'll end up happening is it'll be Lori versus Corey. Corey's about to kill Lori. Michael comes, stops Corey. Then it's Corey versus Michael. Michael kills Corey, and then Michael just kind of leaves Lori alone. And it's just like, because like I said earlier, he doesn't care. He doesn't want to kill her. She just keeps coming after him. I mean, at some point you got to
Yeah.
defend yourself. If somebody kept trying to kill me, I'd be like, I'm
Right.
sorry, I'm gonna have to kill you, man. Like I'm not just gonna
Right.
stand there and let you kill me. So that's what I
But I
think will
do
end up
think,
happening.
Michael versus Laurie will happen though, because even in the
I think it
trailer
will
we
at
see
some
that.
point. I just think it'll be
Yeah.
early in the movie.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. You
Like
think
I
it'll
think
be
I like I
early?
think
Okay.
yeah, like I think that showdown that we keep seeing, I think it'll be
Hmm.
early on.
Yeah.
I do. I also think that because we do see the moment where you clearly see Michael's hand in the Lori fight. So, but there is one where his hand's normal. So I do think it's
Right.
very likely that Lori thinks it's Michael, but it's not really Michael.
Exactly.
And then
Yeah.
they have that showdown. But I do think that there will likely be like the CinemaCon trailer. I think that will likely be early on in the movie, if not in the very beginning. They have
Mhm.
that showdown. Michael disappears, and then that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I just think it's probably going to conclude with Michael and Lori both surviving. I didn't think that for a long time, but now
Yeah.
just on everything we have, I do. I think that it's going to be like Lori and Michael will have a showdown at some point, but I think it's going to be earlier in the movie or like at some midpoint.
Yeah.
Or it's just Michael versus Lori and we think it is, and then you get the reveal that it wasn't Michael, which I think that would be disappointing. But
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, and the other thing too is that they'd have to hide that hand, and that'd be so difficult to do, man.
yeah,
Because once you see that hand, So,
no, yeah.
but yeah, good question. Good question. Denisha says, "Question: Do you think Michael will die? Halloween ends at the title, or Laurie gets to die too? Will that make the audience emotional about it?" Yeah, kind of what we just said. I really don't think I don't think Michael's gonna die, and I think Laurie is 50-50 for me.
Yeah.
I could see her dying, but I also could see her surviving.
Yeah.
So, but I definitely think Michael will not die. I don't see that happening. I'd be very shocked. Let me ask you this to kind of go off of what Denise is saying. What's the percentage that Michael is going to die in this movie?
I think
What would
0.
you give it? Oh, 0. Okay. I think
I
it's very small too.
Yeah, I think look, they might leave it up in the air. Like, okay, I should rephrase. So the reason I say 0 is because I don't think we're going to get a definitive death. Like, I don't think
Mhm.
we're gonna see where Michael gets blown up into a million pieces,
Right.
or
Right.
gets decapitated like an H2O or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we're gonna see a definitive death like that. What I think
Yeah.
at most, assuming there is a showdown and something, and Michael is perceived dead, it'll
Mhm.
be one of those things where it's open ended, where
Yeah.
you hear the
Yep.
voice or you hear the breathing or something, and it's like,
Mhm.
oh, that kind of thing. Like, that's what I think will end up
Yeah.
happening. I don't.
Yep.
That's why I think it's 0. I don't think
Yeah.
we're gonna get a definitive death for Michael Myers. So for
Yeah.
me, it's 0.
I agree. Cody was saying, "Why is Corey down in the sewers?" I want y'all's honest opinion. I think he either finds out that Michael is down there, or it's totally by accident. It's a place where he can get access to put on the costume, and then obviously come up onto the street level and then impersonate Michael. I think
It's
that's
his
why
way to
he's in the
operate.
sewers.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Probably his way to operate. Yeah.
Yep.
No.
Yep. Let's see. Cody saying, "Do you think Lori will bulldoze the Myers house, or do you think she bought it for herself as a trap?"
Well, according to Jason Blum, he said
Yeah.
that she bulldozes the house. I mean, granted, that could have just have been him just saying so, because he said that like a year ago now. Like, he
Yeah.
said that like it's been a while since he said that, so it might have just have been something kind of in passing that he just threw out there just because he knew people were going to run wild with it.
Yeah.
But it makes sense. I don't think, like, especially Lori and her obsession and stuff like that at the time of kills, I don't think she's
Mhm.
just gonna let Michael chill in the house. And
Yeah.
her daughter was just killed, so it's like,
Exactly.
here's the thing too. Do we know for sure that she's dead?
Who, Karen?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's funny you say that because I actually did. It was on a live stream and a video when I talked about that. Look, all I know is this: they're saying that Judy Greer is not, that Karen is dead.
Yeah.
But we've all talked about the ending of Kills, and it was very odd the way it happened, and so forth and so forth. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll put it to you this way: I would absolutely love to see Judy Greer in this movie. I would
Yeah.
absolutely love to. What do you think? Do you think she survived? Do you think there's a good chance?
If I'm being honest, probably not. If I'm
Okay.
being honest, I think she's dead. But it's not like we saw her actually. I mean, we just saw the image in the window and her, like, anything could have happened. Especially, like I said, I mean, it would make sense. Michael would kill her. You're in my house. I just killed Big John, Little John, and here you are again, and you set me up.
Right.
Like so.
Right. Right.
I don't think, I don't think, I don't think she would have survived, but you never know. I mean, it was open ended for a reason, right? Because
Yeah.
they
Well, that's
could
what
have
I'm
showed,
saying.
yeah, they could have showed him, snap her neck or something, and then just staring out the
Right.
window, or could have showed
Yes.
her getting thrown out, thrown out the window or something.
That's
You
right.
could have, they could have quickly shown a quick, brief death of her, and it would have been
Yes.
the same result, and then
Yes.
you would have had a definitive answer. I mean, it's just, I mean, we see that. I mean, think of like Kirby.
Yep.
People thought
That's
Kirby
right.
was never, and look, now she's back because it was
Yeah.
open ended. Like,
Mhm.
like it looked like she died, but hey, and that
Mhm.
was more like, that was a more like, oh, she's dead than what happened with Karen. Like, at least we saw
Right.
Kirby get stabbed and bleeding out,
Right.
on her last breath at that point. Like, so I don't know,
Well,
just a thought.
yeah, I mean, I totally would be up for it. I think there's a chance, not a high chance, but I think there's a chance. But if one thing I will say is that um, I haven't heard anything about it, so it's like
Yeah.
the best kept secret of all time. Which that kind of makes me think it's probably not going to happen
That's
too,
why I don't
because
think so.
there have been leaks. You know what? This is the thing for me. I'm
The
going to
whole
kind of
movie's
pivot.
already been leaked. Both
I,
versions have been
I
leaked.
know. It's like, come on, guys. Do we really need to do all that? I know that's the culture and so forth, so it's not going to stop. But I think it's just too bad that, um, you just got to be careful if you don't want to know anything. And I know many people don't, including myself. I don't want to know everything about this movie. We get enough from, the reports that are given officially, and we get so much from the trailers and, of course, our own minds.
Yeah.
We come up with so many things. It's like, we don't need the whole thing leaked out. It's ridiculous, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Extron saying, you guys inspired me to make horror videos to begin with, because for the longest time I don't know what videos to really make anymore, and I wasn't that consistent, but you guys inspired me to make horror videos. Oh, well, hey, thank you
Nice.
so
Awesome.
much.
Thank you.
Glad
Seriously.
to hear
Thank
it.
you, Extra. Hey, like I said,
Yeah.
I think everyone should have a YouTube. It is, I mean, outside of like, what we were talking about earlier of it being a grind and a hustle
Mhm.
and, trying to make a living, stuff like that. There are a lot of benefits beyond that. It's great therapy. It's great, it's great to
It
meet
is.
people that, you never thought you'd meet, people with interests, and whatever your
Mhm.
interest is. Like, if you like something, there's probably another million people at least that like the same thing.
True.
So like, that's, even if no matter how weird, bizarre, random, whatever, think of, there's 7 billion people in the world. You don't think that there's another million people somewhere that like, I mean, you're talking 1% of 1%. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it's more than that, so I believe that there's an audience for everything.
Mhm.
And I do. I think that it doesn't hurt to just have a channel. It's a great escape. It's a lot of fun, and
I
but
agree.
I do think, like what we talked about earlier, you do have to decide, what do you want to do? Do you want to do this for a career? Do you want this to just be fun, escape? You're okay with only 5 people watching your video, that kind of thing. You got to
Yep.
distinguish what you want. Because for me personally, it was, I want to be able to do this for a living. Like, I don't want to
Right.
do this. Like, yeah, I'll do it for free. I'll go through the grind. I'll do what I have to do. It's just like anything, any company,
Right.
you go to school to become a doctor or a lawyer, or whatever, you grind for 4 to 8 years or whatever. It's the same thing. You're going to do the same thing with YouTube. You grind. I mean, there's people that have been doing it as much as we talk about, like, man, like, like we want to grow. I mean, there's people that have been doing it twice as long as we have,
Oh
and
yeah,
are
absolutely.
nowhere near where we're at,
Right.
So
Yeah. No doubt. There's a lot of perspective to it, no doubt.
yeah. Absolutely.
Harvey saying, I think the town would think he has died, falls from the radio tower. I don't know. And then they announce it too soon. Cut to him walking down the damn street at the end of the movie. Hey, you never know, man. I'll tell you what. And I know if Val is still here, she probably won't like this part of the conversation. But I know the whole radio tower thing, just kind of blew up, and everybody's wondering the significance or possible significance. Of course, we didn't see the radio tower at all in the trailer. From what we are gathering so far, what do you think the significance of the radio tower will be?
I don't think it's going to be, I still don't think it's going to be like controlling Michael or anything. I don't
Oh
think it's going to
yeah.
be anything. I don't think it's going to be like that. I just
Yeah.
think it'll be like a nice little like landmark. You know, because I
Mhm.
mean it's been like we've had like the radio tower in the background all the time. I just think it's going to be a setup point one way or another. Whether it's that's where Michael's living, that's where the final
Mhm.
showdown happens, whatever.
Mhm.
I think that there's going to be, you know, some significance, but I don't think it's going to be like the be all end all. You know, at
Yeah,
least I
I
hope
agree.
not. Like I hope it's not something that that's you know, like Michael is somehow being controlled by the radio tower. You know, his
Right.
essence is taken from the radio tower. You know, he's like gets
Mm.
impaled, and because the evil inside him is now being transmitted or something, and now there's all
Oh
these
man.
Michaels all over the world. Like I
Oh
pray it's
man.
not something like that.
I just can't see them going off the rails like that so hard. I mean, I guess anything is possible, but yeah, man, I agree. I don't think the radio tower is going to be anything more than a location, maybe a source of information or something like that. But yeah.
Yeah.
Hamish is in the chat saying, "Yo, it's been a while. How are you both doing? Close to midnight here. Hey,
Damn.
we're doing
What's up?
good. Nice to see
Appreciate you.
you.
Yeah.
Nice to see you."
Wonderful. We're here with all you beautiful people. What more can we
That's
ask for?
right. That's right. Hamish also saying, "How would you feel about no Ghostface reveal for Scream 6?" Ooh, that's a good question.
Knight, what do you think?
Well, I think if it's like a cliffhanger type of scenario, which we've talked about forever, um, I'd be okay with it. Now, now put it this way: if there was only one ghost face, which I hope that's not the case, and there's no reveal, I'd have issue with it. But let's say there's three, which I'm hoping there's three or at least three,
Yeah.
and let's say two are revealed and one isn't, or one is revealed and two aren't. I'd be perfectly fine with that. Perfectly fine. But and I mean, it only stands to reason that this is going to lead into 7. It may not be a
Yeah.
cliffhanger of an ending, but obviously the story is going to be continued into another movie. So, like I said, if there was only one ghost face and there was no reveal, and of course we don't know what's going to happen in 7, it would be a little frustrating. 7 would make me feel either worse or better about that. How about you, Fate?
So from an audience standpoint and a Scream fan standpoint, not me personally, but like general consensus, you
Mm-hmm.
got to do a ghost face reveal in Scream just
Yeah.
because that's what Scream is. Me now, from a personal standpoint, execution is everything. Our favorite term here on the Leaflet
Mhm.
Collective. If it's executed properly, I am all for it. Like if it's established earlier and it's clear that this is going to be a part 1 of 2, all of that stuff, then yeah, I'm all for it. I can be patient because we're not going to have to wait 10 years for Scream 7, right? It's
Right.
gonna, you know, if Scream 6 comes out in 2023, we'll probably get Scream 7 in 2024 at some point. The latest,
Yeah.
very early 25, like January 25. You know, so I don't
Mhm.
think we're gonna have to wait longer than a year, which is fine. And I mean, shows have done that for the existence of shows, right? That cliffhanger, you
Yes.
don't get the, you know, you have the epic showdown. So, and we all wait a year on our favorite show for that to happen. You know, people
Mhm.
might be upset about it, but I think, you know, it also would be great marketing for Scream 7 because now you
It
need to
would.
know, even if you hated Scream 6, you're still going to want to know like what happened, who is it, that kind of thing. So I think
Mhm.
I think it makes a lot of sense, but I think just for the sake there will be a Ghostface revealed. That doesn't mean they'll all be revealed. You know, like
Right.
Knight was saying earlier. You know, you have 3 Ghostface. You know, one stands up because they wanted to do that in Scream 2 even. You know, like
Yes.
with the tower, like when Sydney's walking across the grass and it pans up and you get the like bell tower or whatever. Originally there was supposed to be a Ghostface standing in that tower.
Mhm.
And so like they could go that route to where, you know, we think there's only 2 killers this whole time, and then really
Mhm.
it's been 3, and you just see a ghost face like staring through the window or something, and you're like oh no, there's
That
another
would
one.
be so cool,
Yeah,
man. I mean,
like you just
what a
see them all
way.
like
Whew.
bloody and stuff, and they're just like
Mhm.
hanging out, like they think it's over, you know, life is good, and then you just see the silhouette of Ghostface in the window
Mhm.
seal, and then just boom takes off,
Yeah.
like, you know, I could see
I
something
mean,
like that.
I think that that's something that's kind of missing, from these franchises, is having moments like that, that oh shit moment at the end, because I mean, can you imagine what people would be going through when they see that? It would just be so cool to have that cliffhanger moment. Where, like you said, that there's another Ghostface, and they have no clue. And I'm actually surprised we haven't gotten more of that type of stuff. I mean, granted, like we were just saying in Kills, the Karen death at the end, it caught me off guard, and it was kind of, but it was odd the way that it happened. And of course, you've got Michael staring out the window again, so that was kind of cool, but not really a cliffhanger. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it didn't really. And of course, we've got the time jump too. So, and of course, we don't know if it's going to be right at the beginning of the movie. I don't think it will, but regardless, it's not a cliffhanger in the true sense of the word. So I'm surprised that more of these franchises that have sequels don't do that.
Yeah.
Really. Denisha saying, "Are you guys excited for Chucky for season 2? No lying here. I'm so hyped after seeing the trailer." Yeah, the trailer is pretty cool.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I'm all for it. Yeah, I curious to see what
Yeah.
direction they're gonna go with it. I enjoyed season one. I don't. I mean,
Mm,
I've talked about season one and how like I think that it wasn't the best thing in the world, but I mean it was also on cable, so
right.
like that's something different. But I think that the success of Chucky season one and how well they were able to do, which they still were able to do a lot, especially for it being on TV. Um,
Right.
I think that a lot more horror franchises should follow suit, but do
Yeah.
them
Well, we're gonna
do
get
them.
Hellraiser.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're getting Hellraiser. We're getting, I just think that like, yeah, it would be better to follow suit like on these social media or not social media, the streaming platforms.
Streaming.
Because you
Yeah.
could just do and get away with so much more because you don't have a
Yep.
lot of the same parameters that you do with cable and stuff. So
Yeah.
you could, I do, I think like a Nightmare on Elm Street uh series would be great on like
Wouldn't
Netflix.
it though? Oh my
Like
god, that
man,
would be
like
cool,
you could build
man.
up the story every episode. There's some crazy Freddy kill,
Hmm.
like
Yep.
and then you just have the backstory. Like it just would be great. Give us like an 8 to 10 episode series on each of these horror franchises. I
And
think
not
it'd be
like
great.
Freddy's Nightmares either.
Yeah,
It's like we
yeah,
want the we
yeah.
want the
The
real
real
stuff.
thing. Yeah,
And speaking of which, actually, that's a pretty good segue, and it just made me think about it. So obviously, just as a channel thing, uh, we announced last night on the watch party what we're going to be doing on the Night Watch Zone, kind of as a midsummer to end summer type of limited series. Is we're not going to be doing anything on the level of Freddy's Nightmares, but we're going to be doing something better. We're actually going to be doing watch alongs for the streaming show Creep Show.
gotcha.
And we're going to be doing that every week. We've got some special guests and special people on the panel, some different things we're going to be doing. Actually, I've got a little card here right there. So yeah, so starting this Sunday at 8 p.m. For the and it's going to be for channel members. It's an exclusive channel members thing because it's something that we wanted to do for channel members for the perks. So it's for the Jason Bourne level channel members and higher. So definitely, if you are not a channel member, please join us because it's going to be a lot of fun. And I don't know if you've seen the Creep Show TV show. I've only
Yes.
seen the first episode and I loved it, but I didn't get a chance to finish it. So the other part of it was kind of a selfish thing because I want to finish watching the series. So it's going to be a really fun thing. So definitely, check it out. If you're not a channel member, please join. And obviously, for the Jason Bourne level members and higher, you guys will be here. And for you guys and I know Denisha was one of the people asking, and if you need to move up a level, please do so. It's going to be a lot of fun. So it'll be starting next Sunday,
Nice.
August the 1st. Yeah. Shameless plug. You got to love it. Shameless plug. Shameless plug. Let's see what else we got going on in here. I say a lot of people. Jen was saying, "Great job, everyone." 36 in the chat. 36
Love it. Love to
likes.
see it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Love to
Let's
see it.
see. Jennifer saying, "Sight unseen for the new movie. Where would you both like to see this franchise go for Halloween or Scream?" Ooh, wow, that's a good question. Well, for Scream, I can answer this. For Scream, I definitely want to see it go in new directions, meaning, um, things that we haven't seen. Obviously, being in New York, that's going to be a cool thing. I hope they utilize the environment to the best degree because there's so much you can do in New York. So many things, new ways for kills to happen, and so forth and so forth. So I hope that 6 is going to go down that road and lead into even bigger things in 7. I truly think that this might determine the future of the franchise, or at least the immediate future of the franchise. I don't want, and I know we've all talked about the possibilities of 6 being so similar to 2. Um, and it really looks like that may happen.
Yes.
I'm hoping against hope and hope that it's going to be doing some new and fresh things. But that's what I hope for Scream. For Halloween, I just want them to stick the landing for this movie. After this movie is over, and obviously we're going to see Michael Myers again, I think what they should do is either have a sequel to something like 4, bring back Danielle Harris. She's Jamie, older and so forth. Maybe do something like that, or another story in the Michael Myers universe, something that's side to the side of the franchise. That would be interesting. Or either go down the anthology road. I mean, that would be really, really interesting because obviously in 1983 nobody was ready for that, but
Yeah.
I think people are ready for it now.
So what in what way would you want an anthology series? Like, would you want each season to be a new Michael Myers story, or would you want them to do like Season of the Witch type thing? Like, how would you want them to go about that?
I mean, I think it would be interesting. Actually, and I've talked about this too. I think it'd be interesting both ways. If there was a new Michael Myers story, that would be one way you could get around the 45 years of the franchise being a burden, which, obviously I love the franchise, but I'm just saying it ties you in, you know what I'm saying? So if you had a new Michael Myers story each time, he's evil. He's a force of nature and so forth. And just each story is a new
he's
Michael Myers
representation
story.
he's a representation of, darkness, of evil. Yeah.
Exactly.
Rather than
Exactly. I absolutely would be hugely for that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if they went down the Season of the Witch type of road, I'd be okay with that too. I think they'd have to be careful, if they did that, because they would just have to be careful. You need some banging stories and so forth, and that you could go down a rabbit hole with that. But I think if it was a new iteration of a Michael Myers story each time, or he's strongly connected to those stories each time, I think that would be a win-win on both sides, because you get your anthology and you also get Michael, and you don't have to worry about the
Keeping the story
existing
intact.
franchise. Exactly. And you're free. You're free to do what you want. You won't even know how old Michael is. And obviously we're going to assume, if they place it at a certain time period, that he'd be younger or whatever. But what I'm saying is you're totally free from all these freaking timelines. You know what I'm saying? I think
you could do whatever you want. You could do like a 1950 Michael Myers thing, because all it is
Yep.
just you just have Michael and you just tell a story with that. I mean,
Yep.
you wouldn't even have to do like backstories and stuff if you want. Like,
That's right.
I mean, you just tell a good story about this guy Michael Myers and why he kills people. Like,
That's right.
like, there you go.
Yep.
Like, it's just the embodiment of evil. I think that I really like, for Halloween, I really want to see. I'm with you. Stick the landing, and then start being creative. Like, how many times can you remake Halloween? Like, at some point it's like, all right, we've seen this story 100 times. Like, so at some point I think you got to do something different, or you're gonna lose your audience. I mean, there's always gonna be those diehards that'll watch it no matter what. But like the big box office numbers, sooner or later you're gonna lose that if you just keep doing the same thing over and over.
Exactly.
Exactly. And so I just think do that different. For Scream, a lot of the same things. Like, I really want to see Scream, finish this trilogy, and then after this trilogy, just start fresh. Because the beauty of Scream is you can do whatever you want. Like, even this trilogy, you could do a lot. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to keep it safe in a box. And I think a lot of that has to do with Paramount. And not necessarily that they're just like, oh, like, we don't want you to take any risks or chances. I don't think it's necessarily that. I think it's that just from a business standpoint, like we just
Hmm.
paid $50+ million, or Spyglass, I should say. We paid $50+ million for the rights to Scream. We have
Yeah.
this formula. Scream 5 was successful. We need
Hmm.
to make our money back. So
Yeah.
let's,
Yep.
let's do what we got to do first, and then we could do whatever we want, go a different direction. So ideally,
Hmm.
I think most likely it's just going to be, copy paste Scream for this trilogy. And then I hope after we get through that, you get a couple year hiatus, and then I hope that they go like, let's do something new. Because the
Yeah.
beauty of Ghostface is it's not Michael Myers, where you always have to have Michael Myers. It's just whoever's under the robe, and
Hmm.
that's what I think. So you could do the possibilities the Scream are in. Like you could do Scream forever, and you never have
Yeah.
to reboot it, you never have to change it, you never have to do anything. Like, and I would love, and I've talked about this a lot on my channel through live streams and videos and stuff. I would love a Scream anthology series, like have like every season is a different series. Like, I mean, I
That would
do
be
want the
cool.
yeah, I do want the Brandon James conclusion, but I don't think we're ever going to get that. And I know like
Hmm.
that the idea for the Scream series, because there is supposed to be a Scream series eventually, is to tie it
Hmm.
into the actual films, which is fine. But I've always wanted either a prequel series, a what if series, or just do an anthology series where every season is just a different story of Scream. Basically, slasher with
Yeah.
Scream on it. Like
Yeah. That
take
would be cool.
slasher series and do it with Ghostface. Like I think you could do that forever. You could kind of double dip. You tell some, if you have like a really good story that hits with audiences, maybe you expand on that more and kind of replicate it in a film. Like,
Hmm.
I just think that there's so much more possibility for Scream than really any other horror franchise. And it's not because like I love Scream so much. It's just
Yeah.
what it inherently is. For whatever reason, they've always kept Scream in a box, and you don't need it in a box. The only thing Scream,
Yeah.
like if you really break down what is Scream, it's the whodunit element, Ghostface, and then the big reveal, in the murder mystery style. Sprinkle a little meta, and then there you go.
And there you go.
Opening scene kill, of course. But most horror movies and franchises have opening scenes, so it's not
Yeah.
like that's coming. But outside of that, you can do whatever you want. Do it in New York.
Yeah.
Do it in Iceland. Do it like
Yeah.
do it wherever.
Absolutely. Yeah. It could be anywhere. It could be like in friggin' the back country or something. Like it could
Ghostface in
be.
space.
Well, let's not go there. Let's not go there. Uh, let's see. Tori's in the chat saying, "Hey everyone, day 3 of birthday week. Ooh, all right. Hey,
Nice,
happy birthday.
nice,
Very
happy
cool.
early birthday.
All right. Let's see. And Wayne saying, just dropped in to say hi. Can't stay
What's
at
up?
work on an early Tuesday here. Oh dear, it's 8:25 a.m. Enjoy all and
Ooh.
buy all. Thanks so
Well,
much.
have
We
fun
appreciate
at
that, Wayne.
work, Wayne. Appreciate you popping in.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. He's saying, thanks for having me briefly for Frankenhooker night. Bye all. What are you doing? You are the Night Watch.
What are you
That's
doing?
funny. Right. I like Scary. What's up?
What's
He's in
up?
the chat. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Conrad's in the chat saying we need Freddy back already. Isn't that the
Facts.
truth? Oh my
Facts.
god, so true, so true. But I think that it's possible that it will happen. In the next couple years. Maybe 3. I don't know. What do you think? The possibility when we could have Freddy back?
I think I'd say about 3 to 5 years. Hopefully, we
Hmm.
we actually have a movie. Because I mean,
Yeah.
like as far as we know, nothing's even in development. So
Right.
you figure it's
Yep.
going to be a year. Like even if they start tomorrow, you figure it's going to be a year of development, a year
That's
of
right.
putting everything in place, and then a year of
Yep.
trying to film the movie and stuff, and then you know there you go. There's the movie. So I think it's at
Yep.
least 3 to 5 years. Oh,
Yep.
thank you, Valerie. And for sports
Yeah,
fan,
Val. Thank
yes,
you so much.
yes. If you're a sports fan, head on over. We're almost to 4K subs, which is insane. I'm like
There you
50
go.
subs, 50 subs away for 4K. I'm exactly 50. I'm at 3950 away from 4,000 subs, which is I was at 250 a month and a half ago. So
It's crazy. It's crazy.
crazy.
But awesome stuff, man. Awesome stuff.
Thank
Um,
you.
you know, have you seen Nope yet?
I have not. I haven't had a chance to see
Man,
it.
are,
I
are
want
you
to see it though.
planning to see it? Yeah,
Sooner or later, yeah.
man.
Why is there something you want to say? I don't care. You can tell me what you want to say. Like,
Well, I won't get into, because obviously some folks
yeah,
in the
some
live
people haven't
chat
seen
might
it
not
yet.
have seen it, but I'm gonna tell you this, man. It was, and I know Jake has seen it, but Steven hasn't. But man, it was a fun movie experience, and I will say this because myself included, I thought, especially the second trailer, kind of just gave too much away, or kind of almost gave too much away. I'm gonna tell you what, man. There is still stuff in that movie that I was like, what? And there's a
Yeah,
huge thing about the movie. So stay away from spoilers if you care about it. I mean, if you don't, personally speaking, I always like to go in blind more so, especially if it's a movie I have a skin in the game for, if I care about it, because there's a huge thing in the movie which you don't know from the trailers. It didn't leak, and when I saw it, I was just like, what? It was just really crazy, but creative, very creative. And the way that movie was shot, man, it was an absolute beautiful movie to watch. I was sitting in the theater and I found myself, as I'm gazing at the screen, and I'm just like just scanning all over the
visuals.
place,
Yeah,
because the visuals were great, especially the sky shots. An absolute, it was just beautiful. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. But I think, and I talked about this on my stream yesterday. It's going to be one of those movies where some people say they like Get Out the most, and some people say they like Us the most. And I think this will be same type of thing. Some people are going to say they like Nope the most. But I think the reason for that is because all three of these movies, and what Jordan is doing with these movies, they're all different.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like they're totally different in what they're doing and the way they're presented. Get Out is very much kind of a more grounded, social commentary type of film, whereas Us is much more, out there, and so forth
yeah,
and so forth. And then of course Nope, you're freaking talking about aliens. So
yeah,
it's got that sci-fi flavor to it. So but I totally appreciate his desire to be creative, and he was offered the role, he was offered the opportunity to direct Akira. They wanted him to direct Akira, live action Akira, and he
yeah,
said, and he's a huge fan of Akira, and by the way,
yeah,
there's a wink and a nod to Akira in Nope. If you know it, you'll know it. But he said, no, I don't want to do that. I'm a big fan of Akira, but I want to focus on original content. And I'm
yeah,
like, wow, good for you, man. Because
yeah.
it's easy to go to something that everyone knows or they're
It's
fans
easy.
of.
Yeah,
Get your paycheck, get a little bit more notoriety, and that's kind of a easier path. But he's going the harder route, and just got to give him respect for that.
yeah. No, I do.
It's great.
I do. I mean, you can't. You got to respect him. I mean, he's very creative, and the beauty is that like all of his movies have a point that he
Yeah.
wants to get
Yeah.
across, but he does
Yep.
it in a way where it's within the frame of the film. Because that's always my problem.
Yes.
Like people always ask, like, how do you feel about social commentary? Film has always had social commentary. I'm not
Yep.
against social commentary. I just don't like when they're trying to force feed you the point that they're
Yeah.
trying to get across. Like we all
Yep.
know that there's racism and segregation and there's issues in the world. We understand that. We're not blind to it,
Hmm.
but there's a way to deliver it properly and there's a way to not. And force
Yeah.
feeding it, you're never going to get your point across trying to force feed it to people, because the people you want to hear the message, they're not going to want to hear the message because they're watching something that's getting spoon fed to them and they're just not going to pay attention. They're going to leave or whatever. And the people that do care, it's
Yeah.
like, come on, we don't need to, like, I don't need, I'm not a racist. I don't need to hear about how all white people are racist. Like
Hmm.
it's within the frame, but when you do it within the frame of the story, as
Right.
Jordan Peele does, it's entertaining. You still get,
Yeah.
you're digesting the message
Hmm.
within the framework of the film, and that I think is very powerful in itself.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's a
And
lot of
sometimes you don't even know it, which is even
yeah,
better, because
exactly.
there's so much in Get Out. And I have a lot of friends. I mean, and I had so many friends come up to me and they'll say, "Oh my gosh, I didn't even know that that's what he was saying at that certain point in the movie," or so forth and so forth. And I'm
Yeah,
like, "Yeah, it's pretty cool." Like in the beginning of Get Out, when he's hanging out, with his girlfriend, and they first meet the parents, and and it's kind of like, yeah, everyone's cool, everyone's, yeah, huggy and this and that, this and that. But Jordan allows those moments to carry
Yeah.
on and on and on. Then all of a sudden, people start to realize, like, okay, that's kind of being overboard. And then, I've had friends of mine since I was a kid, say to me, oh my gosh, I've done that before, and da 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 da. And it's like, aha, and
See?
Jordan was able to get those things across a lot of times without people even realizing. And I think that shows his craft, it really, really does.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, that's how things like that become powerful, Like,
Yes.
like
Mhm.
I don't believe that we should ignore things, but I think that there's ways
Right.
to properly go about it, Like I said
Hmm.
earlier, like of course there's racism in the world. Of course there's
Yeah.
things that need to improve about the world. But
Yeah.
we can't act like things haven't improved. We're
Right.
not in the 1940s anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and we need to get messages across, but there's a way to go about it. Like,
Absolutely.
it's just like sales. If I come to you and I'm like, you're gonna buy this cup, like, like, you're gonna be like, get away from me, dude. But if I'm like, hey, like, you look thirsty, man, like, like I got this nice cup, I can fill it up with some water, and you
Right. Right.
do the
Right.
right approach, that like, hey, then you get the message across. Because
Yeah.
it's like I said, it's always been in everything. It's in music, it's in art, it's in poetry, it's in films.
Hmm.
So, but anyway,
Get it up.
what is up, Kyle?
That's good. That's good. I like Scary Saying Night. Do you feel it has enough potential to be better than his past films? I think it does have the potential. And I will say this again without any spoilers. Jordan Peele, and of course I'm kind of giving stuff away. Check out my video, because I did a non-spoiler and a spoiler. But I will say this, which I did say on my videos. But Jordan Peele, when he did this movie, it was right, the pandemic had obviously crippled the industry and so forth. And he wanted a movie that would be a spectacle, that people would watch and be like, wow, you know what I mean? And so that was kind of a lot of the basis for this film. And I think this film is his most commercial film. And what I mean by that is it has a lot of different elements in it that I think people can enjoy. And I definitely think it has the potential. Do I think it's a what's the word I want to use? A deep film, as deep as Get Out or Us? No, I don't. And it's not meant to be. Get Out obviously is about, racism and the social commentary on that, and not just racism as most people think about it. But again, like I said, people kind of that overly, hey, all right, and obviously those types of things. Us was about class struggle, classism, and so, but this movie is much more. It has themes in it, but they're much more under the surface. So, but I do think it's a possibility. I do.
Which one out of the three is
Uh,
your favorite as of
huh?
which one of the three are your favorite as of right now from him? Us, Nope, or Get Out?
Well, I think, and it's a complicated answer because I just saw Nope. So I'm gonna be honest with you, man. And like I said, I did. I know I keep saying it, but in my stream yesterday, it was spoiler talk, and we were doing all the hidden details. There's tons of hidden details, winks and nods, and so forth. And I'm still absorbing a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? So it's still kind of early for me to say. What I'll put it to you this way: I've seen all three in the theater, and Nope was the most fun and kind of experience of sorts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think Get Out was such a good movie from A to Z. You know what I mean? So it's tough to say. I mean, I think I still would nod to Get Out because I've obviously had a lot of time with that movie to let it absorb and breathe. But I'll tell you what, man, Nope. I want to see it again, and I know there's stuff I missed in it, and it was such a fun experience. It really was. So it's
Fate,
good stuff, man.
what do you think about the Idiot as it stands take on sport? I think he sucks, and I think nobody should watch as it stands sports. That guy sucks. His face is ugly. Wears stupid glasses.
Oh, geez.
He's got a very
What's up,
punchable
Ernie?
face.
Punchable. You gotta stop. I like Scary saying it is very different. Yes, 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 yes. And no spoilers in the chat for Nope, guys. So I just want to make
Yes.
sure that we, as always, I don't know why we gotta keep saying this, but no spoilers at all. Cody's saying, how would you feel if Jordan Peele wrote a new Freddy Krueger movie? I don't
One, I
know.
don't think he'd ever
I
do
don't
it.
know. Right. I don't think he would. I don't think he would either.
I just,
I don't know. Good.
yeah. The problem is it's hard to picture that based on what he's put out there. Because
Yeah.
Freddy
Yeah.
is very specific. You got to do
It
a very
is.
specific thing. I just think
Mhm.
that the type of style that he has and the type of films he's put out there, I don't think it would work for a
Yeah.
Freddy Krueger movie. Personally,
I agree. Bacon's in the chat. What's up, Bacon? Nice to see you,
Bacon,
man.
pew, pew. What is up?
Yeah. Ernie saying, is Jordan Peele the next M. Night, and is that a good or bad thing? Thank you. I talked about this too. I think there's some parallels, but I think the thing about Jordan that's different, and I like, some M. Night movies. There's no shame in me saying that. And I think he's a very talented filmmaker as well. But I think with Jordan, his foundation is so much larger as far as what, again, Get Out, Us,
Yeah.
and Nope. They're three totally different movies. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think that he has a lot more, I don't want to say creativity, but I'm just saying he draws from a lot of different things. And if you watch Nope, you're going to see a whole new side, to not only what he's from, but also what he can do. So I'll just tease that like that. So I definitely think there's similarities between them.
Jordan,
But I
to
think
me,
they're
Jordan,
different.
Jordan Peele is a more evolved M. Night. Like
Yeah.
M. Night has. Don't get me wrong, M. Night has some of the best movies ever. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But think of Signs. What, Sixth Sense. Things like
Mhm.
that. Like but he had that early success, and I feel
Right.
like from there he just felt like I could just pump movies out and just do some crazy twists and they'll be good and people will love it. Where
Yeah.
I think M. Night got to a point where he was just like, oh, I have to have this crazy twist just to have this crazy twist. And it
Right.
just
Right.
and instead of the overall story, where I feel like
Mhm.
Jordan Peele, he puts more thought and process into his films. That's why I think Jordan
Yeah.
Peele is a more evolved M. Night Shyamalan. Like
Yeah.
he's like, I want there to be a twist. I want there to be a purpose. I want there to be something that leaves the audience in shock, but I need it to be within the scope of the movie. So
Mhm.
Hocus Pocus 2, I cannot wait for that. I have my concerns about that movie. But,
Right.
I am
Yeah.
excited for it.
True enough.
Yeah.
True enough. All right. Well, look, guys, we're gonna get ready to close this thing down, but we appreciate you guys hanging out with us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, there was some good questions in here too. Absolutely. But we will we will be back on Friday, and looking forward to having Jake and Craven with us. So definitely get some questions ready, and I'm sure we're going to have an interesting conversation. Please remember to like the video. That would help to support the channel, and leave us a comment. And probably more importantly, we've talked about this a lot. Please share us out on social media. That
Yes, please.
definitely helps so much. You guys don't understand. I'm telling you, like, if everyone who watches our videos would share it out on social media, we'd definitely be hitting that 1K much
Yes.
sooner. So no doubt about that.
We're what, 220, 275, 274. Ooh, we're at 26 now.
There you go.
274 away. Help us
There you
out, make
go.
it happen.
Right?
You guys are awesome.
Absolutely.
We
Yeah.
love you
Coop.
all.
Absolutely,
Coop.
man. And thanks so much, Val. We
you,
appreciate
Val.
you always reminding folks. People are starting to remember, though. They're starting to
Yes,
remember, and that's
I
what
love
it's
it.
all
I love
about.
it.
Yes. All right, guys. So we will catch you guys later. Take it easy. We'll see you on Friday. The collective has spoken, even when it's only 50% of us.
That's
Peace.
right.